welcome everyone. Welcome to STEM Club India Webcast. Today we have Mr. Sandy Hooda, co-founder VEGA Schools. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. Pleasure to meet you and pleasure to meet everybody.
All right, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for coming, first of all. I'll quickly introduce our guest. Mr. Sandy Hooda is a first-generation entrepreneur with an outstanding track record in technology and hospitality ventures. He realized through personal experience that his school education not only undermined his love of learning, but it also played an insignificant role in him becoming successful in life. Alumni of the Modern School and Shriram College of Commerce, we welcome Mr. Sandy Hooda, who got 10 years of VEGA School in progress and working great in all possible ways in education fraternity. So, sir, we'll start with a quick question, a small one. How is journey so far?
Yeah, it's been a very challenging and rewarding journey. And what we are trying to do at VEGA Schools is actually not that different from what you are doing with STEM. We are trying to make learning fun, learning interesting. We are trying to integrate all the subjects. So we follow a pedagogy called PBL, problem-based learning, which is a combination of inquiry-based learning, experiential learning, STEM education, and all the progressive learning methods, and where children, work together to solve real-world problems, to do real-world projects, and so it's not that different from what you're trying to do. So there's a lot of synergy.
All right, great. So just for my information, sir, what was that moment which basically gave you the instinct that you need to be an educationist?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for asking it. I exited all my businesses in 2011-12.
Okay.
And I really didn't know what to do. So I took a 2-year sabbatical where I was traveling around the world, meeting people, and doing, just experiencing new things, trying to find what I want to do next. And that's when I came across some very interesting educators who were changing the world. And through them, I started visiting schools that were changing the world. And so I went to schools where children loved going to school. In one of the schools I went to, they loved going to school so much that they actually had they ran a school day on every Saturday. They called it D6, Day 6, where just the children, no teachers, would be in school because they love learning. And I said, wow, that's incredible, because we always associate learning with, oh God, we have to learn, associate exams with pressure and all that. But these children were different. They loved learning. They loved going to school. They were learning things that were very real world. They were solving real world problems. So that's really what got me to start investigating, how we could do something like that in India. And while one can write a book or deliver a talk, and there's value in both, but actually doing it and showing how it can be done is equally important.
Great. And I think this is one of the, I'll say, very interesting story that you basically got fascinated because of the right way of learning students are doing globally. And now you're putting it, and Indian students will be fortunate enough to get such kind of exposures. Great. This is, again, a different kind of, I'll say, inspiration. So any ideal you have, whom you follow?
On the education side or in life?
This is just to know you, so it matters. So first in life, and maybe then in the education side as well.
Sure. So in life, I've always admired people who've found new and better ways of doing things, who brought people together, who've thought of out-of-box ideas and then made an impact on the world. So of course, we don't have to look so far at people like Mahatma Gandhi, who beacons for us Indians. And then I'm also very inspired by Barack Obama because of what he stands for and some of the wonderful things he's done for the less privileged in his part of the world. And on the education side, I was very inspired by several people, but one of the most notable is someone called Larry Rosenstock, who won the WISE Fellowship of the Year last year, which is kind of the equivalent of the Nobel Prize for Education. And he started a chain of schools called High Tech High in San Diego, and 13 schools. And he actually created a remarkable mecca for teaching and learning. So not only was he able to create incredible schools, he was able to get so much attention. So those schools are visited by 3,500 people every year from all over the world, who go there, get inspired, and then make those changes in their own respective countries. So I was very inspired by him.
Any quote or mantra also you follow or you believe in?
Just something very simple, and that is that dream big. It's very important to dream big, to think big, to dream big, and related to that is just create something that has a lot of excellence, because ultimately it's excellence that draws people.
Yeah.
And that sets you apart. So anything that you do, even right from driving a taxi to running the world's largest company, you must do what you do so well that it completely sets you apart. So just very simple.
Yeah, and the first two words you say, dream big. I think so. This is again one common thing which we have now, apart from what we are doing in education side. So I also I'm a firm believer of the word you say, dream big. So all right, and I can see you fit. I'm pretty sure there must be some hobbies around sports. If you can tell us what is in school days, maybe what was the sport you follow?
So I used to play badminton in school. I was a school captain, and I thought, sports taught me a lot. It taught me how to deal with failure and how to analyze my mistakes and get better and not give up. So badminton was a sport, but I think the things, the values that it taught me and it stood for, I still remember to date.
Regarding your hobbies, sir, anything you pursue currently?
Sure, I love traveling. We just, even in COVID times, we were able to get away. So we just spent a month in Geneva, and then we spent a month in the United States, going to Florida, Los Angeles area, San Francisco. So love traveling and love reading a good book. Nothing compares to reading a good book.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that.
Okay, so this question is a bit out of the context, but I just want to know, sir, how you came up with the name of your brand, VEGA.
Sure. So VEGA is a star, and it's the brightest star in the constellation. And for us, our goal is to help each and every learner in our school discover their star within, for them to become really bright stars, to rise like stars, and to be the best version of themselves. So we thought that this name really resonated very closely with what we were setting out to achieve.
Okay, deep thought, I'll say that. But good one, interesting one, sir. So again, so this was majorly section was all about to know you, but I just want to have a couple of your thoughts regarding STEM as well. So in current scenario, STEM, STEAM, stream, there are many things happening. Yeah. Your thoughts and views, sir, how it is helping students?
Yes. So as I had stated earlier, STEM is very closely aligned with some of the world's most progressive teaching and learning methods, like PBL that we deploy and other progressive teaching methods. Because STEM is very interdisciplinary. It's not that you're learning things in silos. STEM also makes children work in groups, collaborate. And that's again something that the real world needs. Real world needs people who can do real collaboration, work well with others. And STEM also prepares children for the world of the future. You don't need to be an expert at everything today. You need to develop the mindset and skill set that will help you deal with the rapidly changing world. And STEM helps you do that. What I love about STEM is again the fact that it's multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. Education, for it to be interesting, has to be multidisciplinary. If you just learn math separately, or science or biology separately, or chemistry, it's not going to be fun. But if you're learning math, English, science to solve a real world problem or to do a real world project, that's when it's a lot of fun. Of course, there's also on the job side, there's going to be a massive demand for STEM jobs, because STEM is connected to science and technology, and every business today and everything is connected to science and technology. US itself is looking at, I think, 1 million experts in the near future, STEM experts. So it's a great, great thing also for you, for your future, if you're a young person.
Yeah, pretty much makes sense. And I think you already told me that you are aligned with this kind of a thought, and you're already doing such practices in school. So just want to know, sir, anything you want to highlight, what basic programs and projects you have taken up for students in your school?
Sure. So we, again, we do projects, real world projects, solve real world problems. So for example, some time ago, our learners had created a decibel meter, because they realized that our cafe was a bit loud, and they wanted to put a very simple meter which has lights, so a green, yellow, red light depending on the decibel levels, and those lights really give you a sense of what is the decibel level in a certain zone. And then of course their idea was to also go out and share it with hospitals in the area. So whatever our children do, they do, all the projects, all the problem solving has to do with real world problems, solving real world problems. Our learners also created a water recycling, a water purification and recycling plant, which we deployed in the school. So again, everything that has real world application. They did a documentary on discrimination, where they went to the nearby village, Fazilpur village, which is close to the school, and they captured how there is so much discrimination, not only within a village, but also at the school. Different teachers, different students coming from different walks of life. We tend to create mental biases and discriminate. And the documentary went on to win a national level award. So again, very real world, bringing various subjects in, solving a real world problem, and then sharing what we do with the real world so that it can make an impact on the world.
These all examples are, sir, I'll say, phenomenal. This is innovation at its best, because students they are solving real world problem also, and they are learning so many things and becoming role models, so many good students. So that is phenomenal, I'll say. Do you think, are we preparing students with the use of STEM quite enough that they will be ready when they are out in the corporate world?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think there's a huge gap between what is taught in schools and the needs of the real world. I mean, just some time ago, I was talking to the HR head of IBM, and I was asking him that, do you think that the education system is helping develop the skills that people like you require? Because IBM is a big recruiter. So he said, not only does the education system is not developing or delivering those skills, but we in the real world, corporate world, have gone way beyond skills. We now look for the ability to learn very quickly and adapt, and not just a fixed set of skills. So the real world has gone way beyond even 21st century skills that everybody has been talking about. So again, with things like PBL, what we do, STEM, the whole idea is to develop a mindset to be able to learn very quickly, adapt very quickly, solve problems very quickly. I mean, who knew that the pandemic will hit and everything will change? And so that's the world we live in. And therefore, we need to teach our children how to be very, very adaptable. So we need to give them the skill set and the mindset.
Perfect. Do you want to give any kind of a message to young educators?
The message to young educators is a very, very simple one. And it's of excellence, again, of dreaming big and excellence. As I interview so many educators, and one of my favorite questions is that, can you share with me which education thought leader you follow? Or can you share with me the 3 books that you've read in the last 1 year relating to innovation in education? And you'll be surprised how few people, how few educators are able to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
So my message is very simple one, that, be research, think big, dream big, research what's happening in the world of education. There's a massive revolution underway, a lot of new techniques, new practices. Just like today, doctors, engineers have to be at the top of their game. Educators also need to be at the top of the game. And for that, they need to do a lot of research. They need to do a lot of learning themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. And your message to students, sir?
My message to students is also honestly not that different. My message to students is that develop the habit of working hard, because the fact is that ultimately your success will come from excellence, and excellence is a function of perseverance. And if the day we can join the dot between hard work, perseverance, and excellence, then and the fact that one leads to the other, and there is no other way, there's no shortcut in life. The world is at your feet, will be at your feet.
Now there will be few rapid fire questions. One word maybe answer. I know quite few of them, but still, your favorite subject?
English.
The subject you don't like?
Chemistry.
Your favorite sport now?
That's a tough one. Maybe paddle. I like playing that with my son.
Okay. Your favorite cuisine?
It's like an easy form of tennis.
All right. Okay. So you are also now adapting and learning.
Absolutely.
Okay. Your favorite cuisine, sir?
Italian.
All right. Your dream vacation? This is again something I'll say tricky. You are a traveler?
No, not at all. It's actually we have a home in Goa, so my dream vacation is always in Goa. I love Goa. We go every year, and yeah, that's still my dream vacation.
Okay, perfect. Your favorite book?
That's a really tough one because there are just so many good books out there. But there is a book that I recommend. It's a book called A New Earth.
Okay.
And it's written by a German philosopher. His name is Eckhart Tolle. It's a book that really makes you rethink everything, every assumption you grew up with. At least in my case, it makes you rethink everything and look at it from a different perspective.
All right. Okay. And so next one is on the project front. There are many projects going on. For example, drone, artificial intelligence, FN in schools, robotics, coding. Your preference, maybe 1, 2, 3, if you can tell me.
Yeah. So I think AI is a huge, it's a huge area, a huge segment, massive potential. And the top jobs in the world going forward will be in the area of AI or related areas. Of course, what you're doing with F1 in schools is also very important because our brain is formed largely when we are young, and that's the time we need to introduce children to all these things. So yes, so that would be
all right,
my preference.
Okay, and we'll try to change your preference in some time once we are there and working with FN with you closely. But yes, I'll take your point. Artificial intelligence is the buzzword and is the thing every student. It's a new kind of a maths, we can say. Everybody should know, and they should know what is AI and coding. So, if you are a student, which course you have opted now?
It's a good question. If I was a student, I would, I would definitely be very interested in technology, but I would not, I would not focus on technology solely. I would also recommend, or I would, take liberal arts, so philosophy, psychology, because ultimately you can make an atomic bomb that can destroy the world. So you also need to have balance. You also need to understand kindness, compassion, empathy, care for the world, care for other people. So I think technology and liberal arts have to go hand in hand.
Okay. Perfect, sir. And this was our session one almost to know our educator, to know something regarding to STEM. We're thankful for your time and whatever you have given us as a feedback and suggestion. I would like to have your concluding comments, sir, if any.
My concluding comments are that dream big, work really hard. Whatever we do, we must do with a great level of excellence. Think differently. India has always been considered to be the land of imitators, but now we need to become the land of innovators and finding new and better ways of doing things. Thinking laterally are the things that we need. And of course, above all, what's really important is to be a good person, to be a good human being. And that's where liberal arts, the right kind of mentors, the right kind of role models come into play. So, yes.
Okay, that was great and inspirational session, sir, I'll say. So this was Mr. Sandy Hooda, co-founder of VEGA Schools. Thank you once again, sir, for coming on STEM Club India webcast. Thanks a lot, sir.